Hey there everyone, this is Michael Dougal, the nootropic reviewer, and during this video today we are going to highlight some of the side effects that may be associated with NAC use as a supplement to better help you with general health and cognition. And it's a very powerful antioxidant, a focused antioxidant that can have cognitive benefits. And what's really fascinating about this supplement is there is such a broad variety of reasons why people use it. Some people, for example, would use NAC as a supplement in order for them to handle OCD symptoms, whereas some individuals may take NAC to help them to offset that caffeine crash which takes place. So what you need to know about N-acetyl-L-cysteine is that it's a supplemental form of L-cysteine, which is an amino acid. So this is a great, I would say, somewhat healthy nootropic. When you're looking at side effects, you should feel somewhat comfortable knowing that this is a naturally occurring product. It is not man-made. Although you can't get N-acetylcysteine in foods, you can get cysteine from food, and some foods that are rich in cysteine include pork chops, beef, chicken breast, tuna, and interestingly enough, there was a study done in 2015 which actually found that subjects that were eating a diet rich in cysteine had a decreased risk of stroke. However, N-acetylcysteine is really what we're looking for if your goal is to have a good impact on using this supplement for anything neurologically related, such as improving your mood or improving your cognition. And that's because when you're consuming cysteine, a lot of it is actually not being absorbed. So you want to look at NAC, N-acetylcysteine, like the more bioavailable form, which actually crosses the blood-brain barrier more efficiently. And it's really important that you are consuming a good amount of cysteine during the day because it helps you to be stronger, to feel stronger, to have a better immune system, most importantly. And so consuming adequate cysteine quantities and NAC is important for a variety of health reasons, including replenishing the most important antioxidant in the body, being glutathione. And glutathione is a very powerful antioxidant for the body. So why would anyone want to take it? Very commonly to make sure that they're staying healthy, and there's a lot of sicknesses, of course, going around. And as an example, we have this study here, the effectiveness of N-acetylcysteine in autism spectrum disorders, a meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials. And they were actually able to conclude, surprisingly, that the consumption of N-acetyl-L-cysteine was safe, tolerable, and it reduced hyperactivity and irritability and enhances social awareness in children with autism spectrum disorder. And this next paper I'm going to show you is actually very exciting because for the longest time, people have looked at supplements like they're only going to make you feel worse. They may hurt your liver, your kidneys, who knows what you're taking, or who knows what the effects could be long term. But all the research really points to NAC actually being a better thing than being a worse thing. And as shown in this paper, N-acetyl-L-cysteine is a supplement that may help with various conditions. Possible uses range from improving athletic performance to managing blood sugar levels and treating chronic lung problems. And it's believed that this is happening because NAC is fighting those free radicals. And free radicals are unstable atoms and they cause inflammation and damage to the body. Okay, so why would a normal healthy individual that isn't concerned about getting sick use NAC as a supplement? And that actually leads into the very first side effect, in that it can actually make you calmer and perhaps somewhat demotivated and feeling lazy, somewhat calmer. But in this case with NAC, users often actually feel like they're in a better mood, yet they're lazier as a result. And it's understood that if you consume NAC, it may do some interesting things to your dopamine levels. It can balance out your dopamine levels. It can also somewhat blunt the dopamine boosting effects of caffeine or different amphetamines. So how will you respond to it? The bad news is that the way you may respond to it would be completely different than somebody else. I'm somebody that I use NAC on and off. Like when I have it, I'll take it. I'm not currently taking it, but when I am taking it, I notice I'm in somewhat of a better mood. I don't feel demotivated from it personally, but there is actually quite a few anecdotes about this. This user over here mentioned that anhedonia was actually happening when they were using NAC as a supplement. And I've tried so many supplements over the past 10 plus years. The few which I think of when I think of anhedonia would be ashwagandha, they would be Bacopa monnieri, and they would be lion's mane for some individuals. But for me, I really feel it when I use ashwagandha, which is why I'm a little bit careful in the way I use it. I've talked about the ashwagandha side effects in this video over here. With Bacopa monnieri, not so much, and lion's mane even to a lesser extent. But to think that people experience anhedonia from using NAC is very puzzling for me because I've used it many times. I don't really feel like I'm more motivated with it. If anything, I do feel like I'm a bit more emotionally stable in the sense that good things happen. I'm not overly excited. Bad things happen, I'm not overly upset, which is nice. I personally prefer it. I like just keeping an even keel. I find myself being more productive that way. And the second major side effect would be brain fog. So users of NAC often do report feeling like foggier thinking, poor word recall, and actually not being able to conversate, as shown in this anecdote over here. And I realize these are anecdotes, but of course we don't have too much research on NAC and its side effects just yet. But the user mentioned that after taking one 600 milligram capsule of NAC, they got massive brain brain fog and their communication skills drop to the floor. And when this happens, you're bound to forget about your priorities and you just sort of wait for it to pass. Again, this has not happened to me, though it is a commonly talked about side effect. For me, I'm like surprised these things are even being talked about. I never saw NAC as a strong supplement. I didn't see it like caffeine or something which could really boost your energy in the first place. The third major side effect would be gastrointestinal symptoms, and as shown in this study over here, which was really well done, N-acetyl-L-cysteine impacts on human health. And this is a meta-analysis of a number of studies, and they actually did point out some side effects, though they did claim they were minimal. The adverse effects of NAC vary from mild to severe, but depend on the formulation and dosage used. But an extensive review did reveal the fact that NAC is associated with minimal side effects. However, in oral administration, the most common adverse effects are gastrointestinal symptoms such as nausea and vomiting, which occur in up to 23% of patients. Itching was also a commonly found side effect. And then it reads, NAC is commonly diluted in caffeine-free diet sodas to mask the smell and taste to facilitate acceptance. It doesn't smell that bad, but it does have a smell to it. I think most individuals are using NAC in a capsule form. At least with this symptom, not that it makes it any better, but you'll notice it happening most likely within the first few days of you using NAC as a supplement. Whereas with the other two supplements, you could be taking them for a long period of time and really not even notice that the side effects were taking place. And some of the other side effects that are occasionally reported would be things like skin rashes, heart palpitations that I've seen a few times, diarrhea, eye irritation is somewhat common, as well as general fatigue. And despite many of these side effects sounding so severe, you'll be surprised to know that a lot of people actually ingest NAC and don't really notice anything happening. And that could be because of the fact that they are underdosing it. So the way in which people would use NAC would commonly be 500 milligrams once to twice per day. Now, when you take NAC is really up to you. People do take it fasted. They also take it in a fed state. I know for me, when I'm taking it, I'll typically take it first thing in the morning in a fasted state, actually pre-workout. Not that it's any better than, it's just easy time for me to remember to take my supplements. Though lately, what seems to be a common practice is not taking it in the morning and taking it in the evening. And that's because of the fact that, of course, there's all this talk about NAC potentially making you calmer, perhaps actually to some extent decreasing dopamine levels. I'll say because of the fact that it's not stimulatory, like it doesn't really boost alertness, so it is okay to take before bed, but it also really doesn't matter when during the day that you take it, and that's been my experience. And you can always consider using NAC along with another supplement that could in fact increase dopamine levels or increase focus, like using it with something like L-tyrosine, which I've talked about more in this video over here. L-tyrosine being an amino acid that's actually very effective when it comes to concentration, focus, and productivity. But what are your thoughts about NAC supplementation, and should we be somewhat concerned about the side effects or not? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Do subscribe and drop a like if you did find this video informative. If you'd like to chat with me one-on-one, you can message me on Patreon, and be sure to visit our Discord server. We have a 24/7 chat room. We're answering questions in a time-sensitive fashion. I thank you for your interest, and I look forward to seeing you next time.